So Kurt, the final thing before we go downstairs is that, and you do this at the end, you don't do it in the beginning. A lot of contractors start painting first thing. And if you do that, you're going to have damage to the walls because other contractors are going to be in and out and what have you. You don't want to paint it until the end. So what we're doing right now in the properties that we're turning, we're using the gray tones. And so we have a paint that we have, and we do about $500,000 worth of business with Home Depot a year. And so what we do with that is that we have a selected paint. So our contractors go to Home Depot. They have to call their order into us to get it okay. So at Eaton Properties, we want to make sure that we manage the money well, because it's other people's money that we're managing.
Right.
So when we do a turn like this, the contractor can get 50% up front, and then 25% on the first inspection, whether it passes or not. And if there are things that the contractor missed on their initial scope, then that would be on them.
Yeah.
But if there were things that the occupancy inspector found that was not on the original scope, then the contractor can add those things on.
Okay.
So the last thing that we have to do when we've gone through the whole house is that we have to prep the house for paint. And again, we're not going to really paint it until we get all the things down in the basement done too, because we don't want people traipsing back and forth. But that will be the last thing that we will do. So let's go down in the basement. See if I can get some light here. I don't think the light works here, so I don't know if we'll have very good lighting down here or not.
Use a flashlight on my phone. That helps, man.
Well, we can.
All right, not much.
Now, in this particular situation, we're not going to do, I've already talked to the owner, we're not going to do a whole lot down here because this is all finished. The basement is finished.
Mm-hmm.
It's dated,
Yeah.
but it's the basement, and it is it's a plus for getting extra rent, or if we were going to sell it, you know, we're going to let the new buyer, I hear water. You hear water?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what that is. But basically, we're going to leave most of this alone. Again, it needs to be trashed out. So, we're going to come over here. There's a bathroom back there, and I bet you that's where it's leaving.
Okay.
So,
that's right there.
this, where do you see it?
Right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, there's something leaking upstairs then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to figure out what that is. We'll have to go back upstairs to the bathroom. See, that's something that we couldn't see when we were up there.
Indeed.
So that contractor that's working here,
Yeah.
he's going to find those things. This is an old heating gas thing, stove here. We would probably eliminate this because it's so ancient. I don't know if it would pass inspection or not. So we can do a couple of things here. What I have done is that I bought just a freestanding type of fireplace.
Okay.
And we put an electric flame in there.
Yeah.
And it is very appealing to an owner or a tenant. So, but we have to get that. That means there's maybe a scar. If we take it off and there's no scar behind it, then we wouldn't have to do anything. But if we take it off and there is a scar, we need to address the scar.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go this way and see if we can figure out what's going on back there. Okay. All right, so we're into where the HVAC is. So this is a little bit of a newer furnace. I mean, it's not ancient, but it's probably about 10 years old. So we got to make sure that that works properly. And we got to make sure that we have filters. And you can see here that that filter is pretty bad. So if you continue to run the furnace this way, you're going to destroy the A-coil.
Yeah.
So we want to take a picture of that. You don't have to do it right now, but we want to take a picture of that, and we put it in our PropertyWare, our software at the office, so we know what size filter goes in this furnace.
Gotcha.
So we can call the tenant every 3 months and say, hey, you know, it's probably time to change your furnace filter.
Yeah.
So, and we can give them the size that it needs to be. You've got back here a water heater. The water heater is new, and it has an inspection, final inspection by the county inspector that's right there on and this is what is called an expansion tank.
Okay.
The expansion tank is something that is required now on all installations of water heaters, because when you watch that commercial, I don't know if it's State Farm, I can't remember, where the gas water heater goes up through the roof and lands on a car.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking
So that expansion tank is designed to release the amount of pressure that might get in there. So,
okay.
all right, so we also want to make sure that all of this duct work is correct and what have you. So again, it may require an HVAC guy for this part, and it may require a plumber for that part. We've already talked about those. All right, let's see if we can go around here. We've got a bathroom back here. Let me see. I think there's a light in here on that someplace. There we go.
Oh, nice.
So this is not bad shape. So we would probably leave this alone. But this is an old stab block system. Can you get in here to see this?
You can go around there.
So this, if an owner is going to have this house, they're probably going to pay a little bit more on their homeowner's insurance, because this does not have a main shutoff. And it may have aluminum wiring. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, but if there was an emergency, somebody would have to go through here and shut all of these off without shutting off the main, because there is no main. So it takes a little bit of time to do it, but that is, if this was going to be replaced, it would have to have a main shutoff.
Okay.
So again, that would require a licensed electrician to do that. Again, we're not going to do much in this area here, but we are having to go back upstairs and figure out what's causing the water leak downstairs. In the basement here, you've got a lot of wiring that's up in here. This is all unnecessary wiring.
Yeah.
And this wiring here is can be all pulled down. You've got an electrical line here, and this is run correctly. Your electric wires are supposed to go through the joists.
Okay.
So that one, they're not supposed to hang below. So that was done correctly. This is what is called PEX. So at some point in time, the copper was probably stolen here. And so in order to avoid another theft of copper, they now put PEX in. So now you would have to have your licensed plumber to put the PEX in.
Gotcha.
Regular contractor can do it, but if the inspector calls you on it and they don't have a permit that was pulled, they theoretically could make you pull out all the PEX and then have somebody else put it back in.
Yeah.
And the same thing with electrical box. If you have an electrical box that you put in without a permit and they come over and they see that, they will make you take that electrical box out, lay it on the ground, get a new one, and put a brand new one back in there. So you're paying double. And you've got now an electrical box that's on the ground.
Nice. All right.
All right. So we'll go back up and determine what the leak is in the bathroom, but I think that's wraps it for this particular house.